Welcome back to the kitchen island. In this video I'm going to show you how to make Beet Kvass, which is an Eastern European drink that has been lacto fermented. So that basically means that it's going to be rich in probiotics. Now another really nourishing thing about this drink is that beets are amazing at supporting the function of your liver, specifically detoxification, and they are also really high in iron, folate and potassium. So they are a real whole food superfood. For one pint-sized mason jar, I used about 4 to 5 medium organic beets that are chopped into medium chunks. Now the reason that you do want to use organic is because if they have been grown with pesticides and other things within the soil, then whatever you're putting into that jar, when it ferments, that's going to be a part of it. So you really don't want that. If you are using non-organic beets, you also want to make sure that you take off the skin. You could also add in some chopped garlic cloves as well, because garlic is really wonderful in the antibacterial properties because of the allicin that it contains, and this has also been found to lower blood pressure and blood sugar. This recipe is really wonderful to use as a daily tonic. You just strain it out from the beets and take essentially like a shot of it, but you could also really utilize it in salad dressings to add a little bit more of an earthiness and a zing and a tang from the vinegary nature of the fermented drink. You're going to want to use filtered water for this recipe as it is a fermentation. So if you don't have access to filtered water, then you're going to want to boil 1 cup of water and allow it to cool. Once you have packed your beets and the garlic into your mason jar, you are going to want to add in 1 tablespoon of sea salt. I personally love the Jacobsen brand because it's really rich in trace minerals and has been tested to have a very low lead content as well. And then an additional add-in you can also use is a 1/4 cup of sauerkraut brine. And the reason for this is because it's already been fermented, and so it aids in that fermentation process, but you don't have to add that in if you don't have it. If you have to hand other fresh herbs like dill or peppercorns, you could also include those as well. It's kind of just your chance to get creative if you want to add in any other flavors. Then pour in your 1 cup of filtered water and ensure that everything is submerged, and you can use a fork or a spoon to make sure everything is stirred together well. You're then going to want to cover that with a cheesecloth or a thin muslin cloth so that it can breathe and release any gases, and let that sit for up to 7 days at room temperature to ferment. Now you're going to want to keep an eye on it, as depending on where you live, the temperature of your home, it could ferment more quickly. So once you start to see it beginning to bubble, you can just give it a taste test and see how tangy it is, and then you can transfer and store it in the fridge. Thank you for joining me at the kitchen island. Be sure to check out my other videos for nourishing recipe inspiration.